the interpretation of Standing Order number 29 says there can be modification. So we really want to know the modification that your office and the clerk's office will apply, because this is a distinguished visiting dignitary. He is not the ordinary mortal, the holopolois of the street. This is one of the prime ministers of this republic, Mr. Speaker. He is one of the senior members of broad-based government, Mr. Speaker. And he has the eye and the ears of the president. So we really need on how we can prepare on how to receive him and how to engage. And it is important, Speaker, that even as we sit, what will be the agenda, because many Kenyans will really want to know, knowing that the former Prime Minister, as they say, Papa Podpek, has always been on the agenda of having money devolved to counties and also removal of NGCDF. So it is important so that as we go to consultation, the modification of Standing Order number 29. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You know, honorable senators, our standing orders can only be invoked when the Senate is officially sitting. The meeting that is going to take place tomorrow is not an official sitting of the Senate. It is a consultative forum. In fact, we had chosen some hotel somewhere in the outskirts of Nairobi to hold this meeting. But because of logistics challenges, we decided to have it within the precincts of Parliament. So it is not a sitting for purposes of our standing orders. Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions.
Senator Boni, take your seat. Just about to report a petition. Honorable Senators, I hereby report to the Senate that a petition has been submitted through the clerk by members of the Core Civil Society Network for Human Rights concerning the inaccessibility of public buildings and offices by persons with disabilities, PWDs, in Mombasa County. As you may be aware, as you are aware, under Article 119(1) of the Constitution, and I quote, every person has a right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including enacting, amending, or repealing any legislation. Honorable Senators, the silent issues raised in the petition are as follows. 1, there are a majority of public buildings in Mombasa County, including Bima Towers, the Betting and Control Building, the Office of the Deputy Commissioner of Movita, the Mombasa County Assembly, Uhuru Nakazi, the Mombasa Law Courts, and the National Environment and Management Authority are inaccessible to persons with disabilities, PWDs. That the Betting and Control Building, which houses several county government offices and departments, has been inaccessible to PWDs for at least 5 years. That the Uhuru Nakazi Building, which accommodates major government offices, including the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, often has lifts that are out of service. That despite numerous renovations, the Mombasa County Assembly has not complied with the accessibility requirements, and its gallery remains inaccessible to PWDs. That the officers of the Deputy Commissioner from Vita at Treasury Square lack access, provisions, and lifts for PWDs. Additionally, the building housing the Mombasa Law Courts also lacks lifts, with most courtrooms located on the first floor. That the petitioners have made several attempts to resolve the concerns presented in the petition with the Department of Lands, Housing and Urban Planning, the National Councils for Persons with Disability, the Mombasa County Commissioner, the Governor of Mombasa County, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Mombasa, and the National Gender and Equality Commission, all of which have yielded unsuccessful results. Consequently, the petitioner prays that the Senate intervenes by doing the following. 1, instituting an inquiry into the status of accessibility of all buildings in Mombasa County to persons with disabilities in accordance with the Constitution and all other relevant regulations and standards. And 2, making recommendations to relevant government agencies to ensure that all buildings in Mombasa County are accessible to PWDs. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Standing Order 2381, the petition is hereby committed to the Committee on Labor and Social Welfare for consideration. And in terms of Standing Order 2382, the committee is required, in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer, which is today, to table its report to the Senate for consideration. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator Joe Newton. Senator Newton.
Mr. Speaker, I had requested to comment on that petition. I don't know whether it's allowable.
Senator Newton, I called you so that you give notice.
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a notice on a motion on implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. I beg to give notice of the following motion, Mr. Speaker, that aware a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in accessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances, financial engagements with the financial institutions in Kenya, with a certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent applications, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concerned that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies which may compromise the authenticity and the integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certification system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individual records. 3, establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And 4, scale up awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certificate of good conduct. 2, establishment of a policy to regulate artificial intelligence, AI, and innovation in Kenya. That aware that the 4th industrial revolution is redefining economies globally through emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, AI, blockchain, and financial technology, fintech. Further aware that Kenya has made commendable strides in digital infrastructure and mobile innovation, positioning itself as a potential leader in Africa's tech-driven future, noting that in a landmark decision, the African Union Executive Council endorsed the Continental AI Strategy during its 45th ordinary session in Accra, Ghana on July 18th to 19th, 2024, to underscore Africa's commitment to an Africa-centric development-focused approach to AI, promoting ethical, responsible, and equitable practices. Cognizant that the Continental AI Strategy calls for unified national approaches among AU member states to navigate the complexities of AI-driven change, aiming to strengthen regional and global cooperation and position Africa as a leader in inclusive and responsible AI development, appreciating that the Ministry of Information, Communications, and the Digital Economy recently formulated the complexities.
Honorable Senator Newton,
Yes.
you were to give notice of the implementation of the automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system.
Sorry, I went all the way to number.
You are reading the entire order paper.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, for that particular mishap. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give notice of that motion that I had read before.
Thank you, Senator Karungo Wathangwa. Senator Newton, to neaten the record, you may have to give notice afresh. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Speaker.
Because we're going to disregard all that you've said.
Okay. Sorry for that, Mr. Speaker. Then this notice of motion on implementation of an automated and decentralized certificate of good conduct system in Kenya. And I beg to give notice of the following motion, that aware that a certificate of good conduct is a major requirement for Kenyan citizens in accessing employment, business opportunities, and in some instances financial engagement with financial institutions in Kenya, with the certificate having a validity period of 1 year. Mr. Speaker, concerned that many Kenyans are compelled to travel long distances to access this service, both for the initial application and for any subsequent applications, making the process tedious, time-consuming, and costly. Further concerned that the current manual application system is prone to delays and inconsistencies, which may compromise the authenticity and integrity of a certificate of good conduct. Cognizant that the importance of introducing an automated good conduct certification system, including the utilization of biometric fingerprint verification through the deployment of biometric kits, will enhance accuracy, security, and expediency in verifying individuals' record. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the National Police Service Commission, in collaboration with the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, to 1, develop and implement an automated good conduct certification system designed to streamline the issuance, renewal, and verification of certificates of good conduct. 2, Mr. Speaker, incorporate advanced technologies such as biometric fingerprint recognition, data encryption, and secure communication protocols to ensure the accuracy of individuals' records. 3, establish decentralized service points and deploys mobile registration units across counties to enhance accessibility, especially in remote areas. And number 4, Mr. Speaker, scale up public awareness initiatives in rural areas on the application and renewal process for the certification of good conduct. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Karungo Wathangwa is not present. This notice is deferred. Next, Order Clerk.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statements pursuant to Standing Order 52-1. Senator Ezena Lemalentiano. That statement is dropped. Statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Senator Hamida Kibwana. That statement is dropped. Senator for Nairobi County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on a matter of national concern regarding the state of affairs at the Kenya Rugby Union. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, the operational and financial standing of the Kenya Rugby Union, including details on the amount of sponsorship funds channeled to KRU by various corporate entities from 2022 to 2025 or to date, and the specific expenditures of the union relating to the same period. Number 2, the current status of the report by the KRU chairman, Mr. Alexander Sasha Mutai, to the DCI regarding alleged criminal and fraudulent activities within the union. Thirdly, whether all serving KRU directors possess the necessary qualifications to hold their respective offices And lastly, Honourable Speaker, the actions being taken to address the governance and other challenges afflicting the Union to avert sanctions from the World Rugby. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Senator for Kajiado County, the Honourable Senator Seki Lenku Olekana.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I request for a statement on the ongoing constructions of a hotel within Ngong Forest. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concerns regarding the ongoing construction of a hotel within Ngong Road Forest adjacent to a sanctuary area. Mr. Speaker, sir, civil societies organizations, including the Green Belt Movement and the general public, have raised serious concerns over the constructions of a hotel within the protected forest reserves. This development seriously breaches environmental protection laws, planning regulations, and public trust. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the identity of the developer currently constructing the hotel within the Ngong Road Forest, the finding of the environmental impact assessments for the constructions of projects, and whether the public was informed and or involved in the assessment as completed by the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, whether the construction project was approved by relevant authorities, including the Kenya Forest Service, the relevant county governments, and the National Environmental Management Authority, and if so, obtain information on the legal basis of such approval, considering Ngong Forest status as a gazetted forest reserves. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
The Senator for Taita Taveta County, the Honourable Senator Maruma.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for this opportunity to request for a statement on non-remittance of staff deductions by Taita Taveta County Government. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the non-remittance of staff SACCO deposits and loan repayment deductions to Kwetu SACCO and other financial institutions by the Taita Taveta County Government. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Taita Taveta County Government has been deducting funds from employees' salaries for SACCO deposits and loan repayment to Kwetu SACCO and other financial institutions. However, the county government has failed to remit these deductions to the respective institutions as required by law and existing agreements. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the total amount of money deducted from employees of the Taita Taveta County Government for SACCO deposits and loan repayments to Kwetu SACCO and other financial institutions which are yet to be remitted to the institutions, including details on the specific amounts per institution, as well as the duration for which the remittances have remained pending. 2, the reasons for the failure by the county government to remit these deductions, as well as the specific timelines for remittance of all outstanding amounts. 3, the measures in place to prevent such delays and or failures in future. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Tabitha Mutinda. That statement is dropped. Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the ongoing harassment, abuse, and violent eviction of hawkers in the Nairobi Central Business District by the Nairobi City County Enforcement Officers. Mr. Speaker, recent events in the CBD have brought to light troubling incidents involving county enforcement officers against hawkers. These include physical assault, extortion, and sexual abuse, particularly targeting female hawkers. Such acts are not only unethical and unlawful, but also violate Article 28 and 29 of the Constitution, as well as statutes including the Sexual Offences Act and the Code of Conduct for Public Officers. Mr. Speaker, the informal sector serves as a critical economic lifeline for many urban residents and should therefore be integrated into the urban economy. However, hawkers continue to face harassment and lawful arrests, confiscation of their goods, and intimidation, often by officers who are unidentifiable and operate with impunity. These actions have disproportionately affected vulnerable populations, including women, youth, and persons with disabilities, exacerbating their economic and personal insecurity. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the policy framework guiding the Nairobi City County Government enforcement officers' actions against hawkers. 2, whether enforcement officers receive sufficient training to ensure compliance with the law and ethical standards and the systems in place to hold them accountable for misconduct. 3, the measures being taken by the county government to establish inclusive, adequate and accessible vending spaces for hawkers while ensuring protection, especially for women, from physical abuse, extortion, and sexual violence. 4, the existence and effectiveness of oversight and complaint handling mechanisms through which hawkers and the public can report misconduct by enforcement officers. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Amida.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My statement is regarding status of housing facilities for forest rangers under the Kenya Forest Service. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern, namely the status of housing facilities for forest rangers under the Kenya Forest Service, KFS. Mr. Speaker, sir, forest rangers play a vital role in protecting forests, which are essential for biodiversity, water catchment, climate regulation, and the livelihoods of millions. Despite this, their welfare, especially housing, remains severely overlooked. Many rangers live in unsafe and unsanitary conditions without basic amenities, and some are even forced to stay in makeshift shelters or tents near forest outposts. Supporting forest conservation requires investing in decent, sustainable housing for rangers, as it is both a welfare issue and a matter of national and environment security. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the current state of the housing infrastructure for forest rangers at all Kenya Forest Service stations and outposts across the country. Number 2, measures that the Kenya Forest Service has taken to assess, maintain, or upgrade existing housing facilities for its personnel. Number 3, plans for the Ministry of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry to invest in sustainable, safe and decent housing for forest rangers, including through public-private partnerships, and indicate any projected timelines for implementing these improvements. Finally, budgetary allocations, and policy frameworks in place to support the long-term welfare of forest rangers, particularly in relation to their living conditions. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Hezana, you may proceed to make your statement pursuant to Standing Order 52. And thereafter, we'll move to comments. Majority Leader, you should guide new members correctly. You should not scare them. Proceed, Honorable Senator.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to the Standing Order 52-1 to make a statement on a matter of national concern on the joint Bunge Youth Dialogue held on the 17th of March 2025, co-hosted by the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association and the Club de Madrid WYDE network of young decision makers. The event took place within the precincts of Parliament at the Kenyatta International Conference Center. Mr. Speaker, sir, this dialogue was a deliberate and strategic intervention designed to bridge the persistent gap between youth-led civic action and formal policy making. Members of county assemblies, student leaders, and civil societies actors alongside international delegates from over 10 countries. I wish to specifically acknowledge the presence of distinguished young parliamentarians from across the globe who made significant contributions to the deliberations. 1, Honorable Augusta Nadi and Honorable Mubarak Kumari from Nigeria, Honorable Joanna Mamombe from Zimbabwe, Honorable Sengoi Zaya from Mongolia, and Honorable Banda Chisomo from Zambia. Their voices reinforced a global consensus. Young people are rising, and parliaments must rise with them. Mr. Speaker, sir, a central feature of the dialogue was a vibrant mock parliamentary session during which 2 landmark motions were debated and unanimously adopted. 1, motion on youth and democracy in Kenya, which called for dismantling of systemic and structural barriers to youth inclusion in governance. It emphasized the need for civic education, political reform, and institutional recognition of youth voices. 2, motion on youth and democracy, a global commitment which positioned Kenya as a champion of youth participation on the international stage, advocating for youth quotas, political finance reform, and representation in global decision-making platforms. These motions were not abstract. They were rooted in lived experiences. The discussions captured the frustration of young people facing exclusion from political party structures, economic disempowerment, lack of civic awareness, and tokenistic representation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the dialogue did not merely diagnose the problem, it chartered a course for action. KYPA, in collaboration with Club de Madrid and relevant stakeholders, committed to a concrete, actionable framework, including 1, cascading mock parliaments to all 47 counties with institutional backing to entrench civic education and participatory governance. 2, establishing a youth policy consolidation framework to link grassroots concern to national legislation and policy making. 3, institutionalizing structured youth dialogues in partnership with county governments and assemblies. 4, creating safe civics platforms for marginalized and rural youth, particularly in arid, informal, and underserved regions. 5th, developing a digital engagement portal to enable real-time issue tracking and feedback between youth and parliament. Last but not least, tabling youth-led proposals in both houses of parliament with a commitment to follow through to implementation. Mr. Speaker, sir, with over 75% of Kenya's population under 35, Kenya's democracy cannot afford to sideline its youth. This dialogue affirmed that young people in Kenya are not asking for charity, they are demanding equity, representation, and access. They seek to move from protest to policy, from street mobilization to structured leadership. For this to happen, Parliament must act. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to acknowledge and thank the speakers and clerks of both houses of Parliament for continued support to the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association and for facilitating the hosting of the dialogue at the KICC. This gesture affirms the critical role of Parliament in fostering youth leadership and democratic inclusion. Let me also emphasize, Mr. Speaker, that the partnerships between KYPA and Club de Madrid is not cosmetic, it is deliberate, reform-focused, and long-term. This is not a one-off event. We are committed to implementing the resolutions of this dialogue and cascading them to all counties, not through talk shops, but through legislative mentorship, civic dialogues, and grassroots policy action. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I urge this House to extend full legislative and institutional support to the outcomes of the Bunge Youth Dialogue. Let these ideas not gather dust in reports and communiques. Let them be translated into motions, bills, budget lines, and ultimately into the lives of young people across this nation. Let history remember that this Parliament stood with its youth and that it acted when it mattered the most. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, we will we'll have comments for half an hour, and therefore, if you get an opportunity to speak, kindly keep it under 3 minutes. The Honorable Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang. The Honorable Senator Cheriot Aaron Kipkiru.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. Mr. Speaker, I rise to comment on this statement by Senator Edwin Sifuna on the operations of KRU. As